In the quiet suburbs of Northern California, there stood a house on Blackwood Lane that everyone in town whispered about but no one dared to enter. For decades, it had been abandoned, its windows boarded, its walls scarred with graffiti, and its yard overrun with weeds. The story was that in the 1970s, a family of four vanished inside the house and were never found. On a dare, college student Emily Harris and her two friends, Josh and Dana, decided to spend one night inside. "It's just an old house," Josh said with bravado as he pried open the warped front door, but as soon as they stepped in, the air felt heavy, thick with the smell of mildew and something metallic, almost like blood. The floorboards groaned under their feet. The living room walls were covered in strange symbols carved into the wood, circles and jagged lines that didn't match any graffiti they had seen before. Dana nervously joked, "Maybe it's just some bored teenagers," but then the whispering began. At first, it was faint, like wind slipping through cracks. Then clearer, "Get out." A childish voice echoing through the hallway. Emily froze. "Did you hear that?" she whispered. Josh laughed uneasily. "All houses make noises." They climbed the staircase, flashlights flickering. On the second floor, they found a room where all the furniture was covered in white sheets. When Emily pulled one back, she gasped. Underneath was a dining table, set for fur, plates still on it, as though the missing family had simply walked away mid-meal. Suddenly, the front door slammed shut. The house shuddered. Their flashlights went out one by one. Panic rose as they scrambled in the dark. The whispers returned, louder now, overlapping voices, men, women, children, all repeating, "Stay with us. Forever." Dana screamed as a cold hand brushed her shoulder. Josh tried to yank the front door open, but it wouldn't budge. Emily's heart pounded as she fumbled for her phone, but the screen only showed static, lines of white snow like an old television. Then they saw it. At the top of the staircase stood four shadowy figures, their faces pale and blurred as dark hollows. They were holding hands, the family that had vanished. Slowly, they began walking down the stairs, each step echoing in dreadful unison. The three friends bolted for the back door. It gave way, and they spilled into the night, running without looking back. When they reached the street, the house was silent and still again, as though nothing had happened. Weeks later, Emily drove by Blackwood Lane. To her horror, the house was gone, torn down, replaced by an empty lot. But on her porch that night, she found a small, dirt-stained Polaroid. In it, she and her friends were sitting at that dining table, plates before them, expressions blank, eyes black. Beneath the photo, a single message was scrawled: "You never left."